The saying, "gone too soon," is an apt phrase for jockey Keith Voitre. He was regarded as one of New Zealand's most talented riders, renowned for soft hands, patience, and a strict aversion to using the whip. His premature loss at 25 was mourned deeply on both sides of the Tasman. Voitre's career lasted 10 years, but that decade in the saddle left an enduring mark on the Australasian riding scene. Keith Voitre was born in Palmerston North on July 14, 1913. With no racing blood in the family, Voitre was 13 before he even sat on a horse. But his natural talent emerged quickly. Hall of Fame legend Hector Gray was the first to notice the little Polish kid, named Keith Wojciechowski, riding track work at Otaki. Gray told the youngster off for riding in gumboots. The lad kicked him off and rode barefoot. Gray saw his ability and arranged a place in Rolly Hatch's stable. Voitre flourished under the highly respected trainer. He won the jockey premiership with 86 wins in just the third year of his apprenticeship, aged 18. He won again in the following season of 1932-33. His record of 123 winners from 541 rides stood for 35 years. That was a remarkable feat in an era when tracks were difficult and racing was mostly confined to Saturdays. Expat New Zealand trainer Lou Robertson encouraged Voitre to move to Melbourne. No jockey has enjoyed a more successful year than Keith Voitre in 1935. He captured the Newmarket, the Cox Plate, the Victoria Derby, the VRC Oaks and the Melbourne Cup. The 22-year-old won 16 feature races in barely 8 months. Many were on Lou Robertson's horses, including Marabou in the biggest race of all.
Marabou wins easily from Sarcery with Silverdale third. Marabou's victory is popular for more than one reason. He was favourite, and his jockey Keith Voitre is the idol of Victorian racegoers.
I felt a great thrill when going up to the start, and I thought I had an excellent chance. But in a big field, I knew that anything might happen, and that I would need a decent run for Marabou to win.
Voitre was racing's superstar, yet he remained humble. A lot of time was devoted to boys' clubs in Melbourne, an important aspect of life after the Depression. Voitre changed the pattern of race riding. He introduced the whoosh out of the barrier and was essentially a hands and heels rider, barely using the whip. A year of that short career was lost because of a broken leg. Voitre returned in 1937. Tragically, he would die a year later at almost the same spot where he suffered the injury. Voitre almost didn't ride at Moonee Valley on that fatal day in September of 1938 because of the flu. He made a late decision to accept 2 rides. Voitre was riding Frill Prince in the Budgeree Handicap when it was one of several horses to fall. He was thrown into the running rail, and Voitre died that night in hospital at the age of 25. The funeral stopped Melbourne. More than 60,000 people lined the streets. Extra trains were brought in to transport mourners to the cemetery. Everybody wanted to pay their respects to the Kiwi jockey who had captured their hearts. Many cars were required to carry all the flowers. The most poignant tribute was on top of Keith Voitre's coffin, his Melbourne Cup winning whip.